our theme this month is all around compassion. And these little details and everything that you're talking about just screams compassion. It's putting your staff in the center and having compassion for the fact that they have lives outside of here, but you want to create the best possible life here when they're here, and then give them tools to have a great life outside of here as well.
Yeah.
You're creating an amazing environment for the people who have chosen to live in your communities, and you're compassionate about the care and what they're navigating. Is that an active choice, or is it just something that you are inherently doing?
So I think it was initially an active choice. And I got to learn about that a little bit again through my experience with the Cardinal Group and in student housing. But I really, kind of growing up, I got to see a certain mentality of, we were lucky to have a job. And that's so true in a lot of cases. But at the same time, and it's becoming more and more prevalent today, we're lucky to have team members. And so I think kind of flipping it on its head of saying, we're lucky to have people that want to work with us, and we're lucky to get to support them. And that sense of, I haven't really thought about it as being compassionate, but yeah, I guess it is compassion in saying, hey, we get to change people's lives, and not just the person who gets to come to work, but you really impact their family life, right? And so that's, I guess, how we try to think about it every day. And as Lance has talked about, I mean, you do a tremendous job every day coming in and making sure the team feels great. And that they take that home with them, and what better thing to have somebody go home happy.
Yeah, absolutely. They spend and invest a significant amount of time and energy here in making the lives of our residents better and creating, exceptional environment here for them to be cared for. We want to make sure that we're giving as well. That, the exciting part, as you highlight, is that we get to affect the lives of the family members that we may not even get to meet, but their parent or loved one works here, they go home, and if we can help them have a positive experience here in their job, when they go home, they are going to be a happier father or a happier mother or a happier nephew or a happier grandson and granddaughter. So they're going to go back, like you mentioned, into where they're at, and extend that compassion that they've seen here. And it's a rarity in this industry. I think there's a lot of compassion that's given to residents, but there's not a whole lot of investment being done in the team members, because I think from a financial standpoint, it's not seen as worth the investment, unfortunately. And so I think a lot of our team members have seen that in other communities, and once they've come in and worked at our community, they see the camaraderie, they see the investment that the company is willing to make in them, not only from a financial wage standpoint, but from a work environment standpoint, and from a team member activity standpoint. Then they're sold on the community, and it obviously affects our retention, it affects our morale, and ultimately affects resident care and our residents too. I mean, they're the first ones, when they hear of staffing crises on the news, they're the first ones to ask us, how much are we paying our team members? Are we on the top end of the wage scale? Are we paying them well enough that they want to be here? And we're able to show them directly, how we are taking care of our team members to make sure that we're attracting and retaining the best talent in the industry.
And to your point, there is a whole compassionate component to all this, but is actually accretive and has a great return on investment. And that does need to be talked about a little bit. We do have to think about that, because this is a business at the end of the day, because we want to grow and be able to do this in more places. But it truly, starting with compassion and then still driving certain numbers, this impacts all of that in a positive way. And we have the data to show that, and that's been the most exciting part.
Yes. And that's a very key point, because they are starting to show, 10 years ago, that was so not a focus of business.
Right.
Actually, it was the opposite, very much so. Business didn't care how you felt when you went home. It was what you were giving when you were there. You were an asset to the business, and that was how it was. But now, we are showing that the younger generation, compassion is a deciding factor in the culture of whether or not they will take a job there. So hiring decisions and staffing decisions are being made based on compassion. Where people are spending their money is also being decided upon how compassionate and how giving are you on a community basis. And so money is being spent in that way. And so while compassion may not be the only deciding factor, it really is becoming a deciding factor in business. And you guys are showing you're ahead on that instead of thinking, oh, now I have to catch up. You've built it into your framework.
Well, I think it shows for the experience as well. And the point that you made of like the food is being prepped with love, I think the dining experience is better than any other community in the state, if not the country. I don't know about the rest of the country, but I try to eat at other communities and we're super proud of it. And I think that experience translates into better product that, yes, we can charge a little more for, but it's also just a great experience. So it works out for everybody.
Absolutely.